Uncharted as a video game franchise gets a lot of love for its storytelling, its motion capture performances, its graphical grandeur.
Very seamless. You know, at this point, I've run out of words.
And of course, its gameplay. All of it is deserved. This is a series that boasts some of the highest production value in gaming, and it shows on the screen. Uncharted is full of both frenetically kinetic set pieces and moments where the only normal response is to stop and gawk. Uncharted The Lost Legacy is no exception, but its truncated campaign and lack of globe-trotting do give it a feeling of being, I don't want to say less than, but tighter, more contained. This containment allows The Lost Legacy to feel more consistent than some of the other titles. Across a campaign that took me just over 6 hours to knock out, I experienced an Uncharted game with almost perfect pace. And pacing is something that I think the Uncharted series has always handled masterfully. But here, while Lost Legacy doesn't ever reach the heights of, say, Uncharted 4, it also never hits a comparative low. There are no slow parts in this spin-off. It is never sluggish, never lingering too long on anything. It takes the tried and true formula of the Uncharted series and streamlines it into an action-packed conveyor belt that pulls you along without friction, delivering a roller coaster that has been somewhat smoothed out. You aren't dropping from as high or as fast, but the escalating climb up to those drops has become less noticeable. The Lost Legacy is basically an epilogue to the series, a chance to spend a little more time with the gameplay and world of Uncharted. But that strong sense of pace elevates it into a title that just about stands on its own. Just about. Don't make this your only Uncharted game or anything insane like that. It's more of the thing you love, but it's not the thing you love, if that makes sense. Okay, bird's eye view for a second. Pacing and presentation have always been the two pillars that drive Uncharted. The presentation speaks for itself. The series has consistently matured in its ability to deliver a cinematic story with top-tier performances and wow-worthy graphics. It's not just the massive vistas or exotic locales or the heightened and pulpy adventure vibes mixed with a dash of low fantasy, but it's also the little details. The information-packed glances between characters, the at times understated line delivery.
Dad was here.
The way mud and water cling to the avatars. Even the way Chloe fixes her hair as you hustle her back to the Jeep. That is a wildly unnecessary flourish, but double damn and a half does it add shine to the full package. But I realized while playing through The Lost Legacy that it's the pacing that is the more important aspect, not the presentation. And to be totally clear, I don't think this is the best Uncharted. Don't worry, I'm not a psychopath. I think Uncharted 4 is still the pinnacle of the franchise, with Uncharted 2 looming right behind it as a landmark in its own right. But I think Legacy managed to distill the formula down where it just became very transparent that it is the pace of the game that makes them play so well, that makes them so hard to put down. Because look, the combat in every Uncharted is fine. Except for in 1, that has not aged well. But in all the other ones, starting with 2, it's fine, serviceable, good enough to have fun. But there are a lot of games with much finer tuned combat. And the puzzles are well done, but there are a lot of other puzzle games. The climbing stands out, I suppose, even if the Tomb Raider reboot did successfully ape it. The climbing here is still a very engaging take on platforming. I think for 2 reasons. 1, presentation. This is not difficult platforming, it's hand-holdy, but it is constantly revealing new angles, new backgrounds, taking you on a twisting path. And also, you guessed it, pacing. The climbing never overstays its welcome, and neither do the puzzles or the combat or anything. The game races from cutscene to firefight to puzzle trap to climbing to cutscene to combat zone back to climbing. It is a carousel. And not the one with frozen impaled horses, but the carousel slide projector from Kodak. Uncharted is a rapid-fire slideshow of mechanics and spectacle. The combat doesn't last long enough to be nitpicked in the moment. And before you can stop to think about what you've just done, you have to swing across a chasm towards yet a new vista. And that draws you into the next character moment and the next puzzle and on until you are crashing your Jeep onto a speeding train to stop a bomb from blowing up a city.
That worked.
By the way, thanks for watching this far. I wanted to say that just because I know this is a small channel and I definitely appreciate you checking it out. Anyway, I'm not really diving into the story here or trying to dissect it because I don't think it really warrants it. The story is good. There is more character development than you find in the majority of video games, but if this were a movie, it's a summer blockbuster where you turn your brain off and cheer when the big bad bites the dust. In the mainline franchise, Uncharted 4 took us into a much more real and vulnerable place with the character of Nathan Drake than we'd seen before. Here in Legacy, we see some of that commitment to realism and stakes with the characters, but we are still kept at arm's length from anything truly thought-provoking or daring with Chloe and Nadine. The good guys banter, they even squabble, but they're here to beat the villain, and there is no need to question why they are doing this. It's obvious why.
The bomb! I'll just buy another. I'll burn your city, thief. Your people will beg me to save them.
And that's fine. Uncharted 4 worked so well because it interrogated Nathan Drake's motives, reframing his actions from the previous titles, reassessing his desire to even be a treasure hunter, but if they had held to such a critical tact here, I think it would have felt like harping on. Uncharted is pulp adventure after all. It was refreshing to analyze that in 4, but I'm glad Legacy returned to a lighter, more airy plot for the final send-off. And even saying that, it's probably not the final send-off. Uncharted is a cash cow, and PlayStation is probably already scheming to resurrect it with Nathan's daughter or something. For a look at another famous franchise's spin-off, check out this video next.